Welcome back to Piney Ridge Nature Area. For this video, we are actually going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff you can eat out here. I always do preface this with, if you don't know what it is for sure, don't eat it. I don't want to be to blame if you get sick from trying some of these onion or garlic plants that we find out here. We're going to start today with garlic mustard. This is a non-native species, so it doesn't belong here. And since it doesn't belong here, there are no things here that are going to eat it to get rid of it. So there is no control for garlic mustard except for pulling it or chemicals. So if you want to come out and try this plant, please do. Pull it out of the ground, take it away. Because this plant is very, very good at spreading seed. It'll spread thousands of seeds, which will stay viable in the soil for up to 10 years. So that means it's just going to keep coming up. And since it can germinate at 32-degree soil temperature, it's going to come up before anything else. It's going to shade out and take over places where some of our native wildflowers would be, or other plants in this lower level. So if you want to try this garlic mustard, what you're looking for is a broadleaf plant like this. And to be sure that it's garlic mustard, just pick a leaf. Don't try it yet. You want to make sure it's okay. Kind of scrunch it up a little bit and take a sniff of it. It's going to smell like garlic or mustard, depending on how well you smell, or what you smell, I guess. I smell mustard, other people smell garlic. I think it's more of a mustard taste as well. But it's good in salads, just raw. It's good for a snack as you hike, and you can also cook it with some other greens if you want to add a little flavor to your meal. And now that we know our first edible out here, the garlic mustard, let's take a little bit of a walk and see if we can find two of the others that grow here in our woodlands at Piney Ridge. Alright, next on the list is a plant that goes by two different names. It is called the wild ramp, and it's called the wild leek. If you call it a ramp, it's going to sound a lot better because in some restaurants in the cities, it is very popular. And in fact, in some places, they say you can't find wild leeks anywhere around the city because they've gone out and just harvested everything out of those forests so they can make stuff in their restaurants. Which gives us the opportunity to talk a little bit about the best way to harvest wild edibles. And that is to take no more than 10% of a patch of plants that you find. In this case, these ramps grow in usually pretty big patches. So if you just take 10% of that, that is a good way to make sure that more will be there the next time you want to come out or when someone else comes out. And if you don't need the whole plant, you don't need to take it. So if you do what I did just a little bit ago and dig up the bulb, you're going to have the entire plant, roots and everything, and that means that there's not going to be anything left to grow. If you just want a little bit of the flavor, take a leaf. That'll allow it to continue growing. Or cut off the stem and it'll continue to grow. And I've also been told that if you take off this root mass and put it back in the soil at home, you can get it to grow, which means you could have your own ramps at home. I have just tried this, and I will tell you it is kind of a mild flavor, but then it's a very heavy garlic flavor later. So I can guarantee that these nice wide leaves are going to make it easy to see. The smell is going to make you very sure that you have a ramp. And also, if you look at onions, one way to tell is they have that reddish or pinkish color right along the base of that stem. This was growing a couple inches into the soil, and it's very easy to break off, so you may unintentionally just get the top. But if you want that bulb for pickling at home or just for chewing on, that is a good thing to have. So we have one more thing we're going to go find, and that would be wild onion. And last but not least is the hardest one to find. This is wild onion, and it grows on the forest floor. But if you, like me, just think this is grass, you're gonna walk right past it. So when you're looking out here on the forest floor, what you're looking for is something that looks like grass. Unlike our ramp that had that nice blush color at the base of the stem, you're not gonna get that here. What you're looking for and feeling for right away is a softer grass. So if you look at this clump right here, it's hard to see because this is grass, this is onion. So you're gonna have a hard time telling the difference until you break off one of those leaves to smell it. And it does have a very strong onion smell to it. And of course, if you dig it up, you've got the bulb. So it smells like an onion, it's gotta be an onion. That means that it is edible. So when you are out looking for edible onions or garlic in our woodlands, just remember, it may look like an onion, but it might not be. Always use your nose to tell you for sure before you try to eat it, because they do have some poisonous lookalikes that might get you in trouble. And then, again, try to be responsible about your collecting. Only take a little bit, try it, and then see if there's more around. But try to be responsible about collecting. And of course, if you don't know what it is, please don't eat it. Be responsible and do your part, because we don't want you to get sick. Make sure there's someone with you that can ID it for you specifically. And that wraps up our video on some of the wild edibles, onions and garlic that you can find in the woodlands of Iowa.